Hey everybody, Coach Kozak here from HASfit, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to make a homemade TRX suspension trainer. Now, there's nothing wrong with actually going out and buying the TRX, but to be honest, they're a little bit pricey. They're in the $150 range, and the raw materials don't cost anywhere near $150. You're paying for their advertisements, their marketing, their sponsorships. All that gets wrapped up into that price, which is why the unit ends up being so darn expensive. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how in one trip to your local hardware store, you can make your own TRX suspension trainer. So to make this video, I ended up taking a trip to my local Lowe's and I spent about $21. So the first thing I want to do is go over step by step exactly what it is that I purchased, how much I spent, etc. But before I get into that, the one thing I want to tell you about everything we're going to buy today is you need to make sure that all of the pieces that you buy are weighted to the appropriate weight. So what I mean by that is you wouldn't want to buy a rope that's only weighted at 100 pounds if you weigh 200 pounds. So obviously that wouldn't work. So that's the one thing that you're going to want to make sure when you're buying your individual pieces is that all of those individual pieces are rated to the proper weight. Alright, the first thing that we're going to need is just a traditional tie down. Now usually these come in packs of 2 to 4, but for this we actually only need 1, so if you buy a pack of 2, feel free to make one for a friend as well. Now my tie down is rated at just under 500 pounds, a little more than do the trick, and this tie down, one of them, only cost me $2.50. Next, we're going to need 3 pieces of 4-foot rope. So each one of these pieces is 4 feet in length. So I bought 12 feet of rope and I had the nice guy at the store cut it for me, and it made sure that I had seared off ends so they're not going to fray and get all messy on me. And also, again, the rating is high enough. I make sure I'm safe on that. The rating on this rope was just over 300 pounds. And all in all, it was 68 cents a foot. So I think it ran me around $9. Next, we're going to need either a carabiner or a quick link. This one happens to be the quick link that screws, but you'll also see the ones with the carabiners, very similar to the things that you use to climb or the attachments at the gym, and this only ran me $1.25. Next, for our handles, we're going to use 2 pieces of 3/4 inch PVC pipe. These were called 3/4 inch pipe nipples when I bought them, and these actually only cost me 92 cents a piece. Now this next piece is totally optional, but to make my handles a little more comfortable, I went ahead and I bought some pipe insulator. It feels just like a nice comfortable handle, and it comes in one long strip, but I went ahead and I cut 2 pieces off of that strip to fit my handles. Again, completely optional. This long piece was about $6, so it's probably the most pricey thing I purchased, but in the long run, a little bit of comfort for $6 isn't all that bad. Okay, now let's go ahead and start the assembly. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put together our handles. So I have my handle here, that's my pipe, and as you can see, I went ahead and put my pipe insulator around it for my nice cushy grip handle. Next, I'm going to take my rope and I'm going to run it through the center of my pipe. And I'm going to take one end of my rope, and you see how I have my tie down here. I want you to go ahead and put it through the metal loop. And then the last thing that we need to do is make a knot. Now I'm going to show you close up how to make this knot because it's probably the most complicated part, and I don't want you to try to have to figure it out from this distance. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our knot. Now this is a modified version of a bowline knot. No, I'm not a knot expert, but after a little bit of research, it wasn't too hard to figure out. So go ahead and take one end of your loop and put this all the way down by the handle just to get it out of your way. On one end, we're going to make a loop. Make sure that you bring that loop end behind. Very important. If it's in front, it's not going to work. So bring this end behind. Next, on the opposite side, we're going to fold it over and double the rope. We're going to take this doubled end, bring it up and underneath, so not all the way in. Notice how I still have this end sticking out. We're going to take your little piece that's hanging out, still holding on over here, take this little piece through the loop, and then now I'm keeping on to both sides here, not just the one, but keeping on to both and holding here, and I'm going to tighten. So you can see right there. Now, this isn't gonna tighten like a traditional knot. The cool thing about a bowline knot is the more pressure that goes on it, the tighter the knot gets. So it's also cool because you can easily undo it. So one more time, I taken one end and I folded behind. And you want to try to leave the least amount of slack possible so you have your nice big handles. One end is doubled up. The doubled up end goes underneath. I'm going to bring this piece up and through, holding on to both sides here, and I'm going to tighten. So there it is. There's your bowline knot. Go ahead and repeat that for both handles. All right, so as you can see here, I went ahead and repeated the process on both sides, and now I have two nice secure handles. The next thing that we need to do is create our suspension anchor. All right, we're in the home stretch. So now I have my one piece with my two handles on it, and for my suspension anchor, I took my third piece of rope and I just created another bowline knot with my quick link or my carabiner on one side. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and put the straps through the other end, and I'm going to secure it. In this case, this one, I'm going to screw. I just feel like the quick links are a little more secure than the traditional carabiner. That's totally up to you which one you choose to use. So now, I have my suspension anchor, and I have my two straps on each side. And lastly, I'm just going to quickly tell you how you can set this up. Alright, so I'm here in my upstairs hallway just to give you guys an example of how you might set this up. I'm going to set it up to my home pull-up system here, but you could set it up many different ways. Just attach it to something that's sturdy. You could put it on a tree, you could put it on the monkey bars or a pull-up system at the park, pull-up system at your gym, maybe something you have something in your basement you can hang it from, or your garage. Just a lot of different ways and a lot of different places you could set this up if you're just a little creative. So I'm going to take my suspension hanger on one end, and I have my straps, my handles on the other. Literally all I'm going to do is take my loop around the bar, and then I'm just going to take my handles and my straps and I'm going to feed them through the center of my loop. Just as so here. Alright, and then you can go ahead and tighten it. And I'll tighten up top. And you can see here, you can go ahead and put all your body weight on that, and the more weight you put on, the tighter that knot will get. Well, that's all there is to it. That's how I was able to go from spending $150 on a TRX to just $21.50 on a suspension trainer at my local hardware store. Make sure you're on the lookout for some new suspension training videos that we have coming out soon where I'll be using this device. If you did like this video, make sure you check out HASfit's website where we have hundreds of free workouts. We have our free meal plans to lose or gain weight, as well as our complete 30 to 90 day fitness programs. Please do us a huge favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It would really help us keep this great service free. Like us on our Facebook fan page or follow us on Twitter, and we'll make sure you get the best daily motivation. And while you're at it, for a little extra motivation, pick up the new HASfit Interactive Trainer app, maybe a t-shirt at our store or a poster, whatever it takes to help you stay motivated and keep you on track. I'm Coach Kozak from HASfit, and I'll see you at your next workout.